And we want to get to the latest now about the woman at the center of the latest abortion battle out of Texas. And she has left the state for the procedure after days of judicial whiplash. Kate Cox, a 31-year-old mother of two, sought an abortion after being told her 21-week pregnancy was non-viable and her health was in danger. The fetus had a condition that would likely result in miscarriage or stillbirth, according to the Cleveland Clinic. Her doctors warned her that had she continued with the pregnancy, it could have jeopardized her health and also her future fertility. Because of this, Cox sought an abortion through the Texas courts and was granted one on Thursday. However, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who has no medical education, fought the ruling in the Texas Supreme Court. He argued that Cox did not meet the requirements for an emergency abortion and that the judge was not medically qualified to make the determination. In addition, he threatened to sue any medical professional who was involved in providing Cox with the procedure. As a result, the Texas Supreme Court found Cox's situation was not enough for an exception and put her stay on the lower court's ruling. Again, Molly, making this woman carry the baby to term, so if it survived the birth, it then would die, gasping for air in front of her. The mental anguish this woman has been put through is enough to put her in a deep depression, to make her extremely anxious, impacting the rest of her family, let alone the physical trauma that she was going through, going to the ER up to 4 times, elevated vital signs, leaking fluid. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, but these are just facts that I am sure 60-year-old white male, far right-wing Trumper Ken Paxton did not consider, or didn't, even worse, didn't care about, as he fought this for whatever clicks he wants to get or support on the far right. This is not where America is. And abortion, what he is teaching most Americans as this story gets amplified and as this woman has to run away from the state of Texas to get the health care she needs, what this is teaching America is what America already, most of it knows, that abortion is not just some lazy woman who had sex by mistake. Like Ken Paxton had sex by mistake with someone and got someone pregnant and now needs to get rid of it. That's like crazy. This is health care.
Yeah.
These are doctors saying, unfortunately, we have to make this very difficult decision because we need to save the life of the mother, and the life of this fetus is not viable.
Yeah.
So, once again, in Texas, far-right Republicans are showing Americans just how sick and cruel they can be to women when they are seeking life-saving health care. If I were a woman in the state of Texas, I'd be afraid.
Yeah.
I'd be literally afraid to lose my health care and my rights.
And I would add that Kate Cox proved to us that these exemptions are not true, right? We saw a woman having a baby, 99% chance of a miscarriage or death right after birth. And the state said no, right? This is the life of the mother, right? She has been in and out of the hospital, and the state is saying, well, prove to us that you're really going to die. I mean, so I think that what I think is so important about this case is that it really proves that these exceptions are not true, that these bans that were built with exceptions, they're not really exceptions. They're not really available.
And Mika, as Kate herself says, she's fortunate enough to be able to afford to travel out of state. She has a support network that can help her, although, of course, they are now scared that the law could come after them in Texas. Right. I mean, this is the absurdity of her situation, is even her husband faces some kind of legal retribution if he helps her get an abortion that she needs. This is health care. I mean, in Kate's case, she wants a big family. She said she wants a big family. She wants this child. This is a healthcare situation. Her health will be at risk. And as Molly was saying, Republicans you speak to and have said, well, there are exceptions, that this should never happen. We shouldn't have cases like this. But we have a case like this, and it's going all the way to the top, of the legal the legal structure in Texas, and it won't be the only one. This won't be the only one. We know it's not the only one of a woman who needs this health care. It's basic health care to keep her health and safe.
Consequences of Trump. Vanity Fair's Molly Jong-Fast, thank you so much for being on this morning. We'll see you again very soon. And coming up, Jack Smith is asking the Supreme Court to get involved in the federal election interference case against Donald Trump. We'll explain how a ruling from the High Court could impact the case. Morning Joe is coming right back.
We're going through the loss of a child. There's no outcome here that I take home my healthy baby girl, so it's hard, I think forcing me to continue the pregnancy and the pain and suffering, put me through the risks of continuing the pregnancy, the risks of childbirth again, especially given how my last two went. I think it's cruel.